On May 27, 1997, one of the most infamous tornado photos, known as the Dead Man Walking, was taken outside of Jarrell, Texas, as a soon-to-be violent tornado was completing tornado genesis. After the tornado touched down, it would rapidly grow to 3/4 of a mile wide and reach F5 strength, headed directly for the Double Creek Estates subdivision area. Now, as the tornado headed towards Double Creek Estates, it was moving at a fairly rapid forward motion, but almost as soon as it entered the actual subdivision itself, it did something that places it on the most horrifying tornado list in American history. It essentially stalled in place and did not move for 3 straight minutes. Multiple homes in this subdivision were subjected to F5 strength winds for 3 minutes without the tornado ever moving from the area. It completely wiped homes entirely off of their slabs, with almost nothing remaining. Looking at damaged photos afterwards, there wasn't even much debris left, as much of it was granulated inside the actual tornado's winds as it sat in the same spot, doing untold amounts of damage. Anything inside the actual subdivision itself was essentially turned into dust. This is the remains of a tractor, the top of which was ripped off and was granulated into unrecognizable pieces, only leaving the frame. There were multiple vehicles that were picked up inside the actual subdivision that spent a significant amount of time in the tornado, and the owners of those vehicles never found any of the remains of their vehicles ever again. Now, this tornado killed 27 individuals, including 3 entire families. Now, when first responders showed up to the scene, they found a gruesome sight, as there was a cattle pasture nearby where nearly 300 cattle had been killed by this tornado and tossed upwards of a 1/4 mile. Of the 27 people, many of them were found in various locations around the subdivision, and many of them were unable to be recognized by first responders because the tornado had sat in an area for so long. Many of the bodies were completely ripped apart. The Jarrell tornado still remains one of the most horrifying tornadoes that has ever struck the United States, simply because we're not used to tornadoes just kind of stopping and spinning in a single location for that long. There have been arguments that the Jarrell tornado was not actually an F5 tornado and that it caused that much damage simply because that area was subjected to such extreme wind speeds for such an extended period of time. But we will never actually know the truth. And one key point I would like to add, if you've made it this far into the video, this video is about how long that particular neighborhood was subjected to F5 strength winds without the tornado ever moving.